What's going on, Evenant? Big Jer, back with you again. And today, we're going to be making a pretty cool bass effect sound. It's going to sound like this. Alright, sounds like a pissed off elephant. Let's learn how to make it. Alright, so the first thing you might notice is I got a pretty cool Evenant skin on my Serum here. And I'm making that as a special gift to you guys. So I'm working on it. Still a little rough right now, but when it's done, you guys will enjoy it. I figured I'd try it out today, give it a test run. Cool. So the sound we're going to be making is going to rely a lot on FM synthesis and the reverb filter. So the numbers that we put in have to be pretty exact because, you know, one little tick either way can really change the way this sounds. So stick with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay with the default waveforms here, and I'm going to turn this down because I do not need volume for FM synthesis. So I'm going to right away turn this to FM from B, and I want to get some action here, okay? So I'm going to make my first LFO, okay? And we're going to give it a pretty cool shape. I'm going to have it kind of do a double thing here. Okay, so I want that to be there, and then I want it to kind of come in by the first little hook here, and like that, and then it's going to come up a little bit less, and then come down like that. Okay, and that's pretty much what it's going to look like for now, and then we'll dial in exactly how we want it. So I'm going to drag this up to FM from B, and I need this to be at 80, okay? And I'm going to turn sync on here, and let's see, I want this to be at 1.34, okay? These will make a big difference. You could dial in the sound that you want. This is the sound that I was going for, okay? And let's see what this sounds like right away. Cool. So let's go ahead and turn this down a bit. By the way, the note that we're designing to is F1. Okay, so I should probably let you guys hear. F1 sounds like without any FMing. There you go. This is not doing anything because this is off, right? So this is like just initial. That's what we sound like. Okay, so we put this on. Let's bring this down a bit. Yep, something like right on. Cool, and I want to bring this up a little more. Awesome, and I wanted that to be like a half step, right? So that's pretty much what it's doing. It's sounding like a half step, even though we're using FM, so not exactly sure what that's doing. Resonance and stuff. So let's turn on the boom, okay? And we'll go direct out, and let's see, we'll put this same filter shape over here. Okay, and turn that up. Cool, and turn that down. Now, a good little tip when you're doing some FMing, you've got a lot of these weird, gnarly, like harmonics that we're tuning resonantly on top of our fundamental, which is F in this case. So, you know, make sure it works with the sub. You could even turn it up an octave. Cool. Make sure it's working with that note, and then you know it'll be tuned, because you can kind of get it to sound cool on any note, but then it might not sound good in your song. All right. Very cool. So remember, the fundamentals of FM synthesis is we're not hearing the sound from the oscillator that we're FMing from. So Serum gives you an opportunity to frequency modulate from B, okay, and also from the noise and sub oscillators. So today we're going to be using the regular oscillator B. And, you know, just as a little, like, just to show you what's going on, the more that I influence this onto this, the more this sound will change, right? So, first of all, that's annoying the hell out of me. Hold on one second. Let's go to global. Show helpful tooltips. See ya. All right, good. Let's go on now. Cool. So if that was bothering you, you can go turn that off. Awesome. So let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. Right. Right. So let me just turn this off. So the more I turn this up, let's see, I'll influence more. And you can see how it all sounds good, right? So you have to tune it to the sound that you want. And this is a little bit of like, you train your ear for this for sure. And also over here, this really affects it too. So let me put this back to the 80 that I had it at. It took me a while to play with that number, find that number. And then this affects it too. So if I do these bend modes, but sync really affects the tuning, right? So watch this. It's almost an infinite amount of little resonant pitches that you could find there. And it took me a second to dial in 80 and 1.34, and I know that works really well. So I wanted to give you that kind of a demo real fast to show you that there's a lot of resonant tuning to do in there, and that's why you could really make FM could really like change the way any sound sounds. So FMing is very important in my opinion. Okay, so let's move on to the next very important part of this sound, and I'm going to put this back on so I can hear my F1 again, and that's going to be the reverb filter. The reverb filter is one of Serum's special filters, okay? So it's over here, and it's one of the filters that can only be found in Serum. The reverb filter can only be found in Serum or Serum Effects. So we're going to go ahead and dial this guy in, and it's in the same sense as the FMing. It's got very particular overtoning resonance that you could do. So it takes a little bit of time to learn how to use this guy, in the sense that finding the right tone and the right note. So let's dial it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my sub through it as well. But one thing that I'm definitely going to do is actually turn this key tracking on. It's very important. Okay, so I'm going to turn my resonance up, and as I turn my resonance up, I get more of this gnarliness here. So you can see that. We're going to actually not use that so much in this one. I'm going to turn my drive up a bit, but we're going to be going for the cutoff at, well, the note that I found was, or the frequency that I found that worked really good is 59. Okay, and that's the one that I dialed in. And again, let's do a little demo here for you. Oh, sorry, I got to use my note. So it automatically sounds really like metallic, right? And if I move this around, really intense sound, and you can get some really cool stuff out of here, but you gotta spend some time with it and dial it in. So again, I found 59, and I'm gonna add a bit of this guy to it, but just the tiniest little amount, just the littlest guy. Let's listen to that without it. Gives it like a metallic-y hollow sound. It's really neat. All right, so a couple more things we could do on this page is turn on mono. Okay, that'll get down our poly here, and we know that's better for our CPU. I like to change this guy to 1 over, 2 or 3 is good. It gives me that Phrygian option right here. I'm not going to use my noise oscillator this time, I don't think. I think I'm just going to show you this one cool thing about the pan thing here. So, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a little more wide, right? That's one option, okay? I could do this right here to make this a little bit wider, and that's what we've been doing. But I'm going to bring this back down to 1 and not use that option. But I'm going to use this reverb filter to make it wide. Now that's cool because this, I think you remember earlier me saying that some of these knobs do different things depending upon what filter is being activated. Well, in this situation, this pan knob acts as like a weird phasey type thing. So when I move it, it's actually going to spread this a bit. So let me show you what I mean. Pretty neat, right? Pretty neat. We get this really wide kind of sound just by spreading the pan over here on the reverb filter. So a little pro tip for this session right here. And the very last thing I'll do on this page is to make it a more consistent sound, turn down my random. Okay, so it'll sound the same now every time. Every time I start it. which is what I like. All right, so finally, let's just add some effects, right? Not too many, actually, to this sound because I like that. I like the sound that we have. So what I want to do is just give it a little bit of compression. I don't think I like the OTT in this one. Let's try it. I think it sounds a bit thicker. We could add OTT later. Cool. And let's add a little bit of reverb here. Okay, we'll just dial that low cut in, maybe a lower decay. Okay, looking good to me. And what I like to do usually is add this here because while I'm designing, sometimes it's good to have reverb on, but when I'm actually in the session, sometimes I like to add reverb in the session so I could have no reverb and then put it on if I want it. Awesome. Great. And don't forget to turn on your oversampling right before you freeze and flatten. Other than that, to me, that's the sound I was going for. So don't forget to save it. We can go save here into our Evenant folder, and we can call this bass effects and Dumbo's pissed, because it does sound a little bit like a angry elephant. All right, had fun making this one with you guys. Catch you on the next one.